r/AskReddit. Would you watch a show where a billionaire CEO has to go an entire month on their lowest paid employee's salary without access to any other resources than that of the employee? What do you think would happen? Top comment says, 3 months minimum and I'd watch it. Thanks for the gold. Response to comment, with problem scenarios thrown in. Car broken down, tube strike, dodgy boiler, sick kid. The wheels would come off pretty quickly. There was a similar themed show in Hong Kong and mainland China years ago. They swapped billionaires with bottom feeders, let the rich do the basic job on the lowest salary to see how far the rich could go purely on their own effort. Nearly all of the billionaires admitted that they could not make it anywhere, regardless of how much they worked. Even working without sleep and resting could not give them any accumulation to help them climb up to a higher level of society. There was only despair and admission that the divide between rich and poor is already a deep valley, and mere personal effort makes little sense. It stirred big debate among society back then, and I think it was part of the reasons the show got canceled. There was also another show in China swapping senior political figures with community-level council workers to see how good they could do in each other's posts. The mayors were flooded by angry mobs who kept asking for more and more benefits that were impossible to fulfill. By the end, they had to admit that the amount of work at basic community level was just too much to achieve anywhere. That show also got canceled after a few episodes. I love reality shows, so I'd watch it depending on who produces it. If it's too fake, with too many emotional moments and advertising and people shouting, I'm out. A response to this answer, I effing hate that emotional moment BS. Kitchen Nightmares and Bar Rescue used to be great. Now I can't even watch them. Same with Undercover Boss. Another answer, it's more than just the money. It's the lack of security these people endure. Not knowing if you'll lose your job tomorrow and having no savings. Being kicked out of your home. An unexpected bill you can't afford, which may lead to increasing debt. Putting these rich people in a poor lifestyle for a month isn't enough. Even if they lost their money and homes, they'll have such a huge network that they'll be back on their feet in the time it takes us peons to earn enough to eat for a week. They can never truly understand what it's like to be poor or even face that reality again. So what would happen? It'd be a completely self-serving advert about how, now I realize that we need to do more for our employees. The workers get a small vanity bonus, probably give an immigrant worker with limited English a car, pat themselves on the back. Then 2 weeks later, we've all forgotten about the show and they'll go back to their old ways. A response to this answer, if you haven't seen it, I'd recommend The Act of Killing. It's a documentary following an elderly man who was once a member of a government-sanctioned anti-communist death squad in Indonesia. Now the commies are defeated, he's celebrated in his own country. There's a scene where they had him do a mock-up of a torture/execution method that he had used. He asked production to hold because he found it traumatic. In a very raw moment, he asked the question, is this what my victims were feeling in their last moments? The producer responds, no, what your victims were feeling was much worse, because you were able to ask us to stop, and they knew there was no escape. You can see that in a couple of seconds, it changes the guy's whole worldview. I would imagine a billionaire who has been rich for most of all of their adult life equally would have trouble conceiving of the dread of inescapable poverty. Squig says, they'd be fine. The problem with poverty is not usually the day-to-day costs. People can adjust to that. It's unexpected expenses that are crippling. Edit that was crossed out. Why are people still responding 2 weeks later? Nobody is reading this thread anymore. At least not the responses at the bottom. Edit 2. Rant was too whiny. If you have something to say, who am I to say otherwise? It would be incredibly self-serving and boring. They would never truly experience what it was like to be in the precarious position of a minimum wage employee living hand to mouth, and the novelty is just salt in the wound. It would be more interesting to see the reverse. A response is, why not both? Or trading places as we called it back in the 80s. Another response, the reverse is called a lottery, and we know how it usually plays out. Too true. I doubt a month is enough to really feel the effect. Someone responds, and a camera team changes everything. I won't trust doing business with a random nobody, but a guy in a suit with a whole production team following him, that's a different story. That's why reality shows are intrinsically just shows. Another response to this answer, but it is just enough time to go, this is stressful. I'm going to plan a trip to Bali in 26 days from now. That's so true. What if God came down one day and said, it's pronounced Jod, then left? Top comment is, I recognize the council has made a decision, but given that it's a stupid-ass decision, I've elected to ignore it. Someone responds, I just had a brain fart. I know this was Samuel L. Jackson's line, but I just spent the last 10 minutes trying to figure out when Mace Windu says it. Isn't he influential in the council? It's Nick Fury, FML. They thought it was Star Wars, but it turned out to be a quote from Avengers. A large chunk of taking my Lord's name in vain would go away. Someone responds, "Jod knows what's in your heart when you said it." Jod, damn it. For Jod's sake. Someone says, "I was going to go with my Jod, he's right. But yours is better. Better by far. Jod, damn it." Someone wrote a poem, "If God is Jod, and Jod is he, then what am I, and what is me? For if a G is really J, then what's a J like me to say? You see," he said, "I am confused, I am perplexed, I am vexed, abused, and all unsure, for sure," said him, because he said, "My name is Gim." Do you want a holy war? Because that's how you get a holy war. Does that mean that Jesus would now be pronounced Jesus? The next great schism will be caused by the GIF style argument. That figures. We'd be like, "No way," and he'd be like, "Yahweh." Edit. Holy shit, y'all are making my day. Take my upvote and go Yahweh. You can go ya own way. Then all of Scandinavia will pronounce it like Yod, and the Spanish will pronounce it like Hod. This then pisses some people off because Jod is also how you pronounce dirt. You would have different religious factions arguing that they're right and the other is wrong. Oh, wait. What about atheists and agnostics? Would they pick a side or start a new religion? Or maybe they deny the event ever happened. Interesting stuff. As an agnostic, I'm pretty sure if I saw God, I would no longer have any doubt. He would also say my name isn't God. Then he would pronounce his name and everyone's faces would melt. I would be converted. Edit. Thanks for the upvotes and awards, guys. Smiley face. What if Satan came down one day and said it's pronounced Zlatan, then left? Zlatan means gold in some languages. Gold equals money equals root of all evil equals Satan? What if Jod was one of us? Just a knob like one of us. Just a stranger on a bus. Oh man. Then we could be divisive on a whole slew of new things. Was that really God? It's a hoax. Who made God leave again? I bet it was the liberals. They drove God away. Jod was talking to me in particular. Only I may refer to him as such. We have to murder anyone who dares says it with a hard G. It's Jod's will. Oh, Jod. Oh, my Jod. Jod bless you. It's been 7 years since the creators of GIFs confirmed the correct pronunciation of the word. This just proves that nobody on the internet has forgiven him. Jesus is actually pronounced Yeshua. I doubt he would care. According to a CNN article with the creators of GIF, it's pronounced GIF, not GIF. It goes on to say, of course, in the grand tradition of heated debate, a flat statement of fact by the creator wasn't enough to sway some partisans. On Twitter, GIF became a trending topic as some folks pushed back. Graphics interchange format, graphics, not graphics, hashtag GIF, hashtag hard G. Wrote web designer Dan Cederholm. So instead of GIF, we're supposed to say GIF? Yeah, right, chimed in October Jones, creator of texts from Dog, Tumblr, and Book. And I suppose those animals with long necks are giraffes. Oh, man. Oh, gosh. Oh, man. Ridiculous. Please support me by liking and subscribing.